everybody, this is BKC and a little bit of modded Borderlands. What I wanted to do is, mods for Borderlands have been around almost probably about a year now, and I don't think they really got the credit that they kind of deserve. I think a lot of people see like really crazy modded weapons that are like one-shotting badasses at OP8 and stuff, and they're just like, yeah, I don't want to have nothing to do with that. That's out of balance. It's too OP and all that stuff. And it's kind of like Skyrim or any other game that you mod. And the balance is how you choose to play it. And instead of going into like all my mods, and I know I'll get questions in the comments about, you know, how do you install mods, how do you do this, and I could do other videos on that later, but I wanted to do a playthrough and show like what, you know, daily life is with mods.
So you want to hear another story, huh? One where the very fate of Pandora hangs in the balance. If not, too bad, I'm telling you anyway. First, there was the vault, an alien prison opened with a mystical key. To the warriors who opened it, the vault was just a container of tentacles and disappointment. They vanished into the wastelands, certain that the vault held no treasure at all. They were wrong. The vault's opening triggered the growth of iridium, a priceless alien element. Soon, the rare and valuable mineral emerged all across Pandora. Its appearance attracted many, including the Hyperion Corporation. They came to Pandora to mine iridium and bring order to the savage planet. Through their excavations, Hyperion uncovered evidence of an even greater vault. Their leader vowed to find it, to use its power to civilize the Borderlands, once and for all. But Hyperion weren't the only ones searching for the next vault's alien power. The call of danger and loot is not so easily resisted. Certain warriors came to Pandora in droves to uncover its hidden secrets. Some would call them adventurers. Others call them fools. But I call them vault hunters. Our story begins with them, and with a man named Handsome Jack.
I'll skip that because I know it's got some copyrighted music. I'm playing as the Siren. I like Gage. I can have fun with her sometimes, but sometimes Death Trap annoys me. Krieg, I love Krieg. He's kind of boring the first playthrough, but once you get through the second playthrough, he gets a lot more fun. Salvador I never really liked too much. I found him just a little overpowered. He's not really fun to level up. Zero is kind of a glass cannon, and he actually was. I played Axton, my first character. I thought he'd be the best fit for me, and then once I played all the other characters, I realized like Axton's not really the best for me. I can play Axton, but he's not the best for me. I thought Zero would be my second character, and I kind of thought he'd be cool. And then I kind of played him, and I really couldn't make him do what I want to do. And I've since learned how to play him, but once I played Maya, to me, Maya was just always the, she was, the one. I think she has like the best all-around skill tree and all that stuff. I think she's really just my favorite. If I had to play just one character, like if Borderlands just kept one character throughout all the games and didn't have multiple characters, I would kind of hope they'd follow the Siren lineage and just do Sirens, because going back play Borderlands 1, I never played Borderlands 1. I thought I would like Lilith, and I went and played Borderlands 1, and I was like, I don't really like Lilith too much because basically her phase walk is almost like Zero's deception, and I really just didn't know what to do with it. I mean, I know early on it kind of just gets you out of trouble, and then late game you start adding some skills to it, and you could kind of make it into like a offensive skill where, you know, once she gets a little more powerful, she starts burning people alive and all that stuff without even you know, just by being near them and all that stuff. But I really didn't like it as much as I thought. And I like that sickle. And I'll explain that in a bit when I get into my mods.
Great! Another dead Vault Hunter. Handsome Jack's been busy. Wait a minute! You're not dead! Yes! Now I can get off this glacier. Claptrap, your metaphorical ship has finally come in. Allow me to introduce myself. I am a CL4P TP steward bot, but my friends call me Claptrap. Or they would if any of them were still alive, or had existed in the first place. Oh, I've got something for you. Here, take this echo communicator that I totally didn't loot from one of these corpses. It comes with a Class 12 heads-up display, complete with a mini-map. Now, come, friend. Let's get you inside. Man, this is great! Now that I've met a mighty Vault Hunter, I can finally join the Resistance and Sanctuary, take vengeance against Jack for killing my product line, and repair my central processor so I stop thinking out loud! I wonder what it's like to have a belly button.
I'll explain everything soon, but know this. You're alive for a reason, and I am here to help you.
Let's get off of this show waste, get out this wind so I can instead of going through like my mod list and, you know, going into this big long thing, I'm just going to put that in the description, and then
your ability to walk short distances without dying will be Handsome Jack's downfall.
I'll talk a little bit about them as we run into them. There's not really going to be much in the beginning. I think in the beginning I got basically I got the Premier Club, whatever. I wish you could turn that off. I kind of hope in Borderlands 3. I never really liked the way none of the games start. Like, to me, the best game was Borderlands 1. You got off a bus, you met Claptrap, he signed you into his,
Day 2 on Pandora. Nobody here is used to seeing a siren. Half the people I've met want to worship me, the other half want to turn me over to Hyperion. Still, it's a nice change of pace from the Abbey. At least here the bad guys stab you from the front. I haven't found a shred of info about sirens. Closest I've got to a lead on siren history are legends of an alien vault. It's not much to go on, but it's something. Maybe if I find this vault, I'll find out where the hell sirens come from. Or maybe I'll prove Brother Harker right and take a bullet to the head 5 minutes from now. We'll see how my week goes.
in Borderlands 1, you just get off a bus. You're a vault hunter. You're going to seek a vault, and you just don't have guns, you know.
Open.
But when you get off the bus, there's a chest.
Gotta keep those bullymongs at bay, or they'll rip.
And I think in Borderlands 1, they kind of like I don't know if they have them locked down or whatever. What's in the first few chests, but like there's a chest that you could get your first gun out of. And I mean, there's multiples in there, so you get a choice. And then if you look around enough, you could find like a few extra chests hidden here and there, and you get an option. Whereas in Borderlands, you just kind of get nothing. And then if you end up buying all the DLC, which I bought this game at Walmart, I didn't buy all this extra stuff, and they kind of give you these extra guns, like for having all the DLC, like the Premier Club. Like if I could have the option to turn that off, I would like to have that turned off. And what I would like to have,
Everything Jack kills, he dumps here. Bandits,
see what Claptrap's saying. Everything Jack kills, he jumped here. So after the pre-sequel, everything that died, he threw down here. So there would be guns laying all over the place. There would be guns. There's a few empty chests over there. Just put a few chests. Just put a few chests in here and let a new Vault Hunter come here and just get a chest. Just get guns. Don't go through all this contrived stuff of, like, oh, you can only have this one gun if you didn't pony up the money and get all the DLC. If you did pony up the money, you get this. You get this 11 damage assault rifle or this 11 damage SMG, but it basically does the same damage as what the starter pistol does. The only thing this really does is it just lets you spread out your ammo pool a little bit, because if you play the game with just without any DLC or anything, or you don't have the Premier Club, or right now if I just throw these weapons away, I'm going to run out of ammo pretty quick because I only have pistol ammo. With the Premier Club, you kind of they give you like, 3 different types. They know you're going to have a pistol, so they give you a sniper, which I always found was kind of crappy. That, they could have definitely
Once upon a time, 4 Vault Hunters
changed that and said, everything Jack throws, everything Jack kills, he dumps here, and then just change it to like, there's a few upsides. There's a lot of good loot laying around, and see if you could find some, and make you kind of like search the area, search some few chests.
And you shall be my fearsome minion.
It kind of made it worse in the pre-sequel. Jack was calling for mercenaries, and then mercenaries got on a rocket ship to fly to the space, and they didn't bring guns with them. It kind of just seems weird to me. And I mean, I know why Gearbox does it. They kind of want to like control the early experience. But to be honest, I'd rather just have a few chests out there, and then you get some really crappy white weapons, and then
great! Just let
after
me get this
you
door
defeat
open
Knuckle
and we'll hunt
Dragger,
ourselves a bullymong.
you get into that barge and you have more, more choice of weapons. Just put a few chests in there. Let me have
Onward, seeing eye
crappy
minion.
weapons.
Let me know if I'm gonna run into anything.
Let them spawn naturally. This game is about
I'll just assume you didn't see that.
random number generators and random loot and
Even
random.
though Knuckle Dragger
And this whole
blindsided
part
me,
always
I know my way
seems
around this glacier. I bet you will find
kind
out
of just like
frostbite crevasse.
they're just trying to. I know what they're doing. They're trying to like make it to where, if one person got the game and another person got the game, they basically have the same experience
That is the only place you will be safe.
until about level 5, where you get your action skills. Then all the different all the different characters separate at that point, and then depending on what gear and how you spec out determines your experience. So if you have a bad time, it's probably because you're not speccing right, or you're not looking around for enough loot.
Protect me,
And but they wanted to protect somebody from just getting a bad roll probably in this area. And then a lot of people complain, is like, you don't have enough, you don't have enough ammo. I mean, have to punch Knuckle Dragger to death because you don't have an ammo would probably be a bad experience. But I see no point in kind of holding back shields, holding back sniper rifles. Because bottom line is, if you find a level 1 sniper rifle, it's going to be pretty crappy. It's going to probably be equivalent to this thing right here, where it only does 54 damage. But I would at least like the option to get it.
They say Jack's drilling operations are
And so I hope in Borderlands 3 they don't do that, because in the pre-sequel,
You'll need that funny little robot's help to reach Sanctuary. The last bastion of the
It
resistance
gave you
against Jack,
the
and the only
bullpup
place you'll be truly
and a
safe.
masher pistol.
Get to Sanctuary.
And originally at first I was like, oh man, I'm going to throw these away right now because it's going to be too overpowered. But what I realized is a level 1 bullpup being blue.
Unexpected.
A level 1 bullpup being blue and a level 1 masher. It's not the masher that was in the pre-sequel, and being level 1, you know, I'm comparing that to a, you know, maybe a level 30 or something bullpup. It's not the same thing. The damage is so low down here at level 1, it doesn't matter, like even Aurelia starts with a purple sniper at level 1. And at purple rarity it seems a little bit strong. But the damage is so low
Kiddo, Jack here.
that there's no room for higher
Let
level.
me explain how things work here. The Vault Hunters show up, Vault Hunter looks for the new vault, Vault Hunter gets killed by me. You see the problem here? You're still alive. So if you could just do me a favor and off yourself, that'd be great. Thanks, Pumpkin.
So you notice here I'm getting shields and I'm getting guns already.
Let's go this way.
Like I said, to control the first few minutes experience of Borderlands, they basically lock this area off to only white pistols dropping. You know, I mean, well, pistols don't even drop. All you really get first playthrough is you get skins, and that's a terrible shield. But I'm busted open. Shut up, Claptrap. Jesus. And if you have Claptraps in Borderlands 3, make him less talkative on the beginning. It's annoying. Like, he plays this game 100 times. He starts really wearing on me. The reason shields are dropping in my game right now... What is this? Oh, a green pistol. Look at that. And pistols and stuff like that is because I'm running the community patch, which... what the community patch does, one of the things it does is it takes off that restriction in this area of locking out guns, locking out. Now it doesn't help, like you're not gonna hit a bully mong pile and find like a level 5 muck or anything like that, but it does take the restrictions off to where you can find shields. So I've got a shield and I'm not even, you know, fighting Knuckle Dragger, and then I got a fire pistol, which would be way better than fighting Knuckle Dragger without a fire pistol. But that's actually the first time I've ever got a fire pistol before. That was extremely good luck. But I really thought at first, I was like, it's an option you can turn off. I thought it was going to be a little overpowered at first. Like, no, not really. I played this game enough times. Having that little extra leg up. I mean, you see this thing's not destroying him, but it is doing some work because it's a fire pistol.
They're coming out of the wall sphincters!
And, you know, he drops the same gear. Like I said, the only difference is I've just got a shield.
It got my eye? Great!
A little bit earlier.
Put it back into me. Much as I'm sure you'd like to jam your fist into my skull, optic surgery is best left to professionals. My pal Hammerlock in Lyersburg can fix me up. I'm on C.
This is my daily driver mods. It's probably about a list of maybe 10 or 15 mods. And I've never gotten a shield that early before. I've just gotten really lucky. I found 2 shields. I've got them after this part, like before I went to fight the thing, but they've always been like level 3 and stuff. I've never got a level 1 shield like that before. I didn't even know those really existed.
Let's say we cut through it, chum.
And so I was thinking that all the times I played before, that level 1 shields didn't even exist. And now we know they do. And that was just really a really lucky run. But every time I play Maya, I find I get more gear than what I do when I get other characters. So I don't know if Maya's just lucky or she has some kind of built-in
It was nice knowing you. I
like
hear
Vault
getting
Hunter's
eaten alive
relic
by
built into her
bulldogs isn't such a
character.
bad way to go.
Let me get that for you. Executing phase shift.
Trying to think what the last character I played,
You're welcome.
and I found
Perks
a
of being
level
an artificial intelligence. I'm networked into almost
level 3
everything
shield
on
and a
this
bully
planet.
monk power right when you
It's a
dropped
long
out
way
off
to
the other
sanctuary.
side over here.
Please take whatever you need for
But
the journey ahead.
I had to beat all Flint's men to actually be able to get up high enough level to actually use it. So
This way!
it really wasn't. So I thought, well, the tuning patch, like it should be
Let me
a
know
little
when you're ready to go
overpowered,
meet with Sir Hammerlock, minion.
but I never actually in practice seen it like be overpowered, like because
coming?
all the gear in this area is so crappy. Anyway, it's white. I didn't even think level 1 shields were possible, but now I know they are, and that's the earliest I've ever gotten one. So that was, I'll just chalk that up to luck because
You coming?
I'm doing allegiance runs. I'm doing all characters with all manufacturer allegiance runs. So that's, I think, like eight manufacturers
This away, minion!
with 6 characters. I think that's 48 separate characters that I'm trying with the community patch under
Keep your wits
allegiance
about
runs.
you, minion. This glacier's
And I
run
don't
by a
remember any of them
bandit
getting
named Captain
shipped
Flint.
this early.
The jerk kept me as his torture plaything for a few months. We
So,
played games like...
but it is
Dodge
nice,
the Blowtorch and don't get dumped into the pool of acid. I was really good at the first one.
You're at such a low level that any gear that you
Attention,
get,
people of Pandora.
it's gonna be
Handsome Jack
garbage.
here, offering $1 million
And,
bucks to whoever brings me the head of the Vault Hunter who just arrived in Liarsburg. Oh, and I'm still offering a reward for Roland, the mass-murdering leader of the Crimson Raiders. Good hunting, bandits.
it's not likely you're gonna find like a sniper rifle or anything like that. But if you did, it'll probably be a crappy whitewood or something. But I've never gotten one so far, so I don't know how the actual engine works for this area.
$1 million bucks! All right, boys, this is Captain Flint. I want you to find that Vault Hunter and bring him to me now!
But on some of the second playthroughs, some of my characters that are on the second playthrough, I am finding like bandit shields and
Come on, minion!
sniper
I'm
rifles
here
and
now.
assault rifles and stuff in these piles and stuff, and it's pretty cool because coming through on the second time, you've already got all your good gear, and then you've got to gain like 4 or 5 levels before you get out this area before good gear stops. It's just kind of like a gear desert, and I kind of do like that restriction being removed, and it just
Spectacular! First
makes the
Captain Flint's
game a little
bandit attack,
more-
then Claptrap shows up. I must have been horrifyingly cruel to puppies in a previous life to
one
deserve
trick
this
when you're
type of
trying to
treatment.
level up,
I say, Vault
you
Hunter,
pull all
would
these
you kill
rack
Flint's
over
men for
here,
me?
and it can give you some more XP because I think these rack are level, yeah, some of them are level 2, some of them are level 4.
Got a
So
proposition
if
for
you kill the
Vault
level
Hunter.
4 ones, you get a lot of
You give
XP.
up, we'll
And
just
see,
shoot you in
Flint's
the
men's
head.
are not even paying
It'll be
attention to
quick,
me.
clean,
I killed some of them
and a hell of a
already.
lot less painful than what Handsome
Right, especially if you got
Jack
the sniper rifle. If you got the assault rifle, the gearbox assault rifle, you could just pull them over here and just fight them all. It kind of takes some of the aggro. Flint's men will be shooting the rack. You got the bully mong. It kind of takes some of the aggro and gives you a little bit more XP.
What is wrong with you boys? Just kill that slag.
I don't think if there's any mods affecting the game right now. I don't think there really is. The only thing, there is some Maya skill changes, I think.
Oh no! Bully mongs!
Satisfying. Critical.
This is just straight up Maya with having a sniper rifle this early. And I mean, if you've got all the DLC, you pretty much got Premier Club or whatever they're calling it. See, like a grenade mod. That's pretty cool.
This ain't over.
See, I see no point. Like I never liked the contraband skyrocket. Okay, so this one does like 7 more damage. But I have a rule: if a grenade's over 1.8 on the fuse time, I throw it away, because if you throw a grenade, enemies just roll away from it and don't take any damage if it's over 1.8. It has to be a really, really, really good grenade mod, and I'll use it, you know, like a 2.0, 2.2. But
please stay back, Vault Hunter. Let Claptrap go
pretty
first.
much have
I
a
knew
rule.
Hammerlock would come around eventually.
1.8
Me and him
is
are
my
like 2
cutoff
peas in
level.
a pod. 2 bullets in a mag. 2 cannibal visits in a fat guy's
Another
ribcage.
thing to help you get XP is just forget about Claptrap
Apologies, but when
and come over here and kill these
I feel
bully
my brain
mobs.
cells committing suicide one by one.
Because
I shall be out directly.
sometimes there's some rack over this direction. There's racks over here, then there's racks over by Flint. Sometimes you could pull another pair of racks. But these bully mobs, they're for a mission. And they're going to respawn, so as soon as you accept that mission, so if you come over here and you kill them, you look and see my XP bar, you can see I get a pretty good chunk of XP from killing them. Not really that high on the level, but I think when they respawn, they'll be a higher level. These are just level 3s. With a shield, even if I wouldn't have found a shield as early as I did, I probably would have one of Flint's men, instead of dropping that grenade, might have would have dropped me a shield like a level 3. And I think even in the base game, you can sometimes very rarely get one of Flint's men to drop a level 3 shield. So it is kind of possible, but I've had it happen before. They'll drop a level 3 or a level 4, and you just can't use it.
A pleasure to meet you, Vault Hunter. I am Sir Hammerlock. At your service. I came out here to research the bully molds for my almanac. Captain Flint's men trapped me on this glacier. Many thanks for disposing of them, by the way.
Hammerlock stops yapping.
Handsome Jack and defeat Captain Flint's bandits.
I'll show you.
I'm headed
Well,
to
I can,
Sanctuary
no,
myself.
you can do it
From
right
what
now.
I hear, the Crimson Raiders never use a hero like you. Now, you could hand me the robot's eye, please.
Another mod, if you notice in the vending machine, the item of the day is a level 3 purple bandit. Now that's not luck, because also you would not be able to buy SMGs, you would not be able to buy sniper rifles in this vending machine, because they're basically locked out. The mod that I am using, I'm gonna keep that. The mod that I'm using is called what is it? Borderlands Vendors. Borderlands 1 Vendors version 3. And what that does is the same mod offer makes 3 different versions. What it makes is
check back later.
Make vendors great again, and what that does is it turns whites to blues, it turns greens to purples, and then it turns blues into legendaries. And I was reading that and I was like, oh my god, that's going to be OP as hell.
See you soon.
And I downloaded it and I installed it, I loaded up a character, and just like in Sanctuary, in 2 machines they had like legendary shields and legendary, and I was like, oh, this is way too overpowered. And I kind of unchecked the mod because I thought like, oh, this is like way too overpowered. You know, because you could come right here. As soon as he turns on the power, you go in that machine and you might find a legendary or purple or blue shield. And I was like, oh, I'm turning that off. That's way too overpowered. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, if there was a legendary shield in there, that thing would be like about maybe $6 grand. And I only got about $300. So I was like, maybe that's not too overpowered. And I can kind of see a use for it. When you get to like OP8, the vendors never upgrade. Your vendors are whites, and if you're lucky, you'll get a blue. And you go out and open chests, and it's just blues and purples. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, that mod would actually be good once you're going into OP levels, because the vending machines pretty much drop at your level. So if you beat, you know, OP 0 and you try to go for OP 1, you go back to Sanctuary, you know, you respec, you change up your build for what you learned, and you know, try to make improvements. You might get lucky and find like some of the gear that you're using maybe at a higher level. And I was like, that might help out a little bit instead of having to play the whole game again. But for a playthrough, it was too overpowered. So he's got another mod where he kind of tones it down a little bit to try to like mimic Borderlands 1. And I started thinking, I was like, Borderlands 1 was pretty good. As soon as basically what they did is they locked the vendors out for a longer period of time, and then once you did a mission, a couple of missions, you come back, the shed would open up and you have the vendors, and then in the vendors there'd be blues and sometimes purples, but there never was just a vendor full of solid junky whites, you know. And the vendors kind of follow the rules of the area. So in here there's going to be nothing but Tediador white shields, and then in here there's not even, I don't even think in here you can buy, I think you could buy grenades, but there's no grenade mods. With the Borderlands 1 vendors, basically he just copied his make vendors great again, but he kind of reduced some of the drop rates, and then I think through criticisms, through people using it, they said, oh, it's still a little overpowered for a playthrough, and so he reduced it. And even when I installed this one for the first time, a couple of the machines have you'll get a legendary, I think a little too often, and then the blues and the purples might be a little bit much. But as soon as he turns the power on, we can check and see what's in there.
Come on, work, curse you.
So I mean, having a what is this? This is a rack hell. Having a rack hell at this level is impossible before. May not be the best one in the world, but it's still a fire sniper rifle. And in Maya's hands, that's pretty deadly. So, and in Zero's hands, that would be pretty deadly. Okay, so he can see even the scripted shield he gives me is better than what I found. So I mean, some people will call, oh, it's too overpowered, and I don't think that to be the case at all. I think it just makes the game a little more interesting. Especially if you was coming through here with 3 friends, you'd be fighting over these few guns that you got. So let's go check the vending machines and see what that does. See, right off the bat, there's a blue grenade mod in there. And let's see, compare it to what I got. It's like a lot better, but I'm not going to buy it because I want to check everything else out because... you know, to me, it makes no sense to curate an ammo machine and stock it and do all that stuff in this area. Yeah, it could be you can say, oh, it's abandoned and all that stuff, and you just got what's left in there. But see, I would like this mod, but I can't get it because I don't have enough money. So, you know, to say that's overpowered, I don't really think it is. Can I get enough? I'm a couple bucks short. I gotta find a few dollars. Okay, and then the shields. See, the shields pretty much stay the same. I have come here and found blue Tediador shields in here before, but you know, it's nothing game breaking.
A fantastic day for capitalism.
And then what they did too, another thing he did in here is he increased the the quality is increased. The restrictions have been removed. The quality is slightly increased, and so you got a green in here, and a lot of whites. He also requested a quantity. There's a few more slots in every machine, so you get more chances at getting what you want.
You got the money, I'll save your gold.
There's just more shields. I think they added like 3. He added like 3 or 4 more extra slots in here. So normally you would just have, you know, maybe 3 or 4 to choose from, and then the item of the day. And so we want that grenade, but we're a couple dollars short. So we're gonna have to probably go kill the bully mong and find what we need, $8. Then we can get that grenade. Oh wait, do I have the mission active? You'll have to excuse me. I got the attention span of a goldfish, or the memory of a goldfish. Go to one side of the bowl. Go, hey, look, what's over there?
Hello. Though Captain Flint killed everyone in Liarsburg, I see no reason that wild bullymong should
lollygag about the place, disrespecting the memories of
the
the former
bullymong is
townsfolk.
gonna
If you could clear the town of them, that would be most gentlemanly.
The objectives on your HUD pertain
I
to
think
your
we might better get
mission.
some level. Yeah, see, we're getting level 4 ones. So if you kill the first ones, they basically stay at your level. So if you kill the level 3, 2, and 3 ones, then you come back here. I think they just, honestly, I think the when you're over there accepting the missions, they despawn and higher level ones spawn anyway. But you're missing out on killing those low level ones.
That's one area free of bullymongs. This would be an even greater achievement if anyone in Liarsburg was still alive to celebrate your victory, but still, well done!
I need just like $8. $8. $8 for that item today disappears. And I find this mod very interesting because early game, like I said, I'm scrounging around for $8. When have you ever played Borderlands and been like, man, I'm $8 short, you know? Like, yeah, when you get to Sanctuary, you know, on the very, very rare chance you find a legendary in the machine and you have to sell almost your entire inventory to get it. But that almost never happens. You almost always have money to get it. And in Borderlands 1, you always were scrounging, especially the early levels, because the mods, the class mods and stuff were available. You just couldn't afford them. And I think this is more interesting. It kind of gives money value again. We dropped a couple bucks. What did he give me? Okay, he didn't give me a couple bucks, but he gave me a gun I can sell. Here's my... oh yeah, there's a couple bucks. 21 bucks. That was a big haul right there. So that's a combination of the community patch removing restrictions and then Borderlands 1 vendors version 3. And if you're the type of person that likes to be really, really, really overpowered, make vendors great again is, like I said, if you'll just be scrounging up the money, you'll constantly be looking for money to get all this good stuff. But there will always be a fountain of blues and purples and legendaries in the machine.
Feeling overburdened by money? I'm sure we'll be doing this.
Let's see, that basically took me from having $400 to having almost nothing. And,
welcome to Dr. Zed's Portable Clinic. What can I do for you?
I hope Borderlands 3 they slow down this area a little bit, the starting, and let you just have chests. Let you just have.
Please make Captain Flint's death as prolonged as possible, would you?
Randomization.
Do you see my hat?
Like you did in Borderlands 1. I remember, I think I was level 17 in Borderlands 1, and came upon a chest and found a level 22 legendary assault rifle in it, and I was like, I can't wait to get to level 22 to see what this is like.
To harvest bullymong fur, you'll need to rip it from their hides with your bare hands. Just weaken a bullymong with gunfire, then finish him off with fisticuffs.
So, like, if you don't have all the DLC, or I don't know what the requirement for the Premier Club is, because, like, that's not something I bought. It just, I guess when I got all the DLC, it just automatically is like, oh, you have the Premier Club or something. I would really like to turn that off and just have a chest. Just have a chest.
We've hijacked the train that runs
Give
through the dusk.
everybody randomization instead of just people who, you know, because the gearbox guns that they get here are not really that good. They're not. That Hyperion SMG has so much recoil that it's almost unusable. The assault rifle.
You've discovered one of Helena Pierce's audio logs. She was a lieutenant in the Crimson Raiders, the anti-Hyperion
It's a Vladoff assault rifle. It's good. It's low damage.
You could find the rest of those audio logs. I would be
it
more
has a
than
better
happy to
fire
pay
rate than the level 1 repeater. So it's a better weapon to kill Knuckle Dragger with. Like, I mean, because Knuckle Dragger's not super hard. You literally just point your assault rifle at him and empty 2 clips into him and you're done.
everybody. How are you? Jack here.
What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry. What was your name?
Pierce.
Well, Miss Pierce, and please don't tell me it's Mrs. Pierce and break my heart. This train doesn't belong to you, so why don't you turn around and face me, Pumpkin?
This train was commandeered legally under the...
Holy nutballs! What happened to your freaking face? Okay, how about this? Lady, I don't even know what to call you. You tell me why you look like you headbutted a belt sander, and I'll let all you go right now.
My husband gave me a skag pearl ring. The pearl released hunger-inducing pheromones.
Oh, you know what? I am so sorry. I just, forgive me. Where's your husband now?
He's dead.
That is a heartbreaker. But you got something in common with him now, at least.
Like, Borderlands is pretty much about
crap. Did you see your head?
randomization, random number generators, random loot, random. And I wish they would just stick to a certain formula. Killaballs, get your loot. Killaballs, get your loot. Like Knuckle Dragger.
Did he? Shame. A real shame.
Knuckle Dragger has a signed drop of the Hornet. And it's a corrosive only pistol. And corrosive doesn't really do anything to flesh. You're better off with that Malawan fire pistol that I just found in a rubbish pile. And you can play this, you can probably start the game over and over and over, and you might have to do it like 20 or 30 times before Knuckle Dragger drops that Hornet. And then by the time you get to Flint, it's going to be outdated. So I don't understand why they made Knuckle Dragger have an assigned loot drop in the first playthrough. I've probably got it maybe 3 or 4 times. And I think just letting him have a world drop, let him drop a random blue or something, you know, this early. That way, you know, by the time you go get your shield and stuff, it's already outdated. Let him drop, you know, let people have loot. Ooh, that's nice. That anarchist. I don't understand this holding back loot. And originally the drop rates were terrible in the game. And you could play the whole entire first playthrough and like rarely see a purple. Rarely see a purple, and then you only would see a legendary. The first time I played, I got lucky at level 10. I think I was like level 12 or 13, and I was doing the mission for what is it, Doc Mercy, and he dropped me the Infinity pistol, and that was like the first legendary I seen. And I was at level 13, and I'd already had better gear. And I mean, compared to this Anarchist that I just now got, if this was a level 10 Anarchist, this thing would blow the Infinity away. It'd have better damage, better accuracy. I think the Infinity has good accuracy, but it's inflated because it has a fixed fire pattern where this is just random. This has a better fire rate unless you get a really good Infinity. This has, I think the reload speed on the Infinity is 1.72, and then the Infinity has a magazine size of 1. And I think that's kind of what threw me, is I saw that, it's like, oh, well, the fire rate's lower. I think I got like one of the really crappy ones that only has like a 0.9 fire rate or something. And I was like, I've got a pistol that does, you know, higher fire rate, same reload speed, bigger mag, better accuracy, you know, just a little bit less accuracy or better accuracy or the same accuracy. And then when I saw the mag, I was like, well, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to fire one shot, you know, reload, fire one shot, reload, fire one shot. I was like, this thing's terrible. And I think it stayed in my inventory for like a couple levels, and then I sold it, and then having never fired it.
You've weakened that bullymong. Now give him a mighty
But
blow
then
with
I
your
think my
melee
next
weapon and take his
legendary
fire.
was like at the warrior. I think I got an impaler, I think.
I apologize,
crap.
I wasn't clear enough. You see, you
thought
need
that
to
was
kill
this
the
one.
bullymong with a melee attack in order to harvest its fur. Sure, you could try to steal the fur from a bullymong's dead body, but where's the
So
fun
I
in
wouldn't want
that?
to use that fire pistol
Blatantly
here
unreasonable
because
requests. Oh!
it would burn them down too quick. I gotta kind of get in there.
Stunning riposte.
Oh crap.
Now, collect the fur. In addition to making for a spectacular hat decoration, I shall study the fur for my almanac about the creatures of Pandora.
Yeah, I got two of them. I gotta get one of these out of here. One of these gotta die. Come here, fool. Ooh, this dude right in my face. Don't make me kill you.
That sample will do admirably.
That's the
Bring
new
a few
one.
more, if you please.
I gotta get one of them out of here. I can't have one chasing me like that. I have no way to heal. And I don't think they drop too much health early game.
Ooh, are you collecting bullymong fur? I love that stuff.
If I get hit
It's
by this
soft, warm,
with my
and
shield
really
down,
absorbing robot tears.
he could
Once
really
you're done
do
collecting
some
all the fur,
damage. And since
why
I
don't you
can't
bring it to
phase
me
lock him to
instead of
close the
Hemlock?
gap,
I overheard Claptrap asking you for the bullymong fur you're collecting, as I fear he would do something irredeemably stupid with it, like make a mohawk out of it or something. Let me...
So, Hammerlock wants to give you a sniper rifle. I laugh at his offer. Ha! If you bring me the fur, I'll give you a badass shotgun I found in the hands of a dead vault hunter. It's really fresh. You can still smell the sadness on it.
question. I know the other thing I don't really like too is, like, if I turn it into Claptrap, I know I'm gonna get a three-way Hulk. If I turn it into Hammerlock, he's gonna give me a. I think you can get a slightly randomized. I think you can get different barrels, but I think you end up either getting like a Muck-a-Muck or a I forget what the one, the Jacobs with the Maliwan barrels called. But I think you can get different
Now finish him off with a melee strike.
barrels, but you always get a Jacobs. And then I think when you with Claptrap, you get the same three-way Hulk. There's a Tor shotgun no matter what. And I don't really find Maya has a ton of synergy with Tor.
I apologize, I wasn't clear enough. You see,
I
you'll
got
need to
one,
kill
but I
the
can't
Bullymong
get
with
in
a
there
melee
because there's too
attack.
many rocks
Wonderful,
coming
you've got
my
all
way.
the fur I need. Bring it to me and my sniper rifle shall be yours.
Hurry up and try to kill these guys and get our action skill.
And I'll give you a shotgun.
But as the levels go up and you come through here to second playthrough, you can find, you start, like, the rarities start getting better, and then without being locked, you could find like a really good sniper, you could find like a really good assault rifle. I like that a lot better, and that's just straight up community patching. I'll probably make a video specifically because I know I'm going to get questions. I'll probably put my see, like, look, there's a blue SMG level 3. That's amazing. And probably compared to the one that, you know, the Gearbox SMG, because that's the only way you can get an SMG in this area. This one's probably going to be pretty nice. And see, then this sniper, let's see. This is 27. I mean, it's pathetic damage. This, you know, the Muck-a-Muck is a strong sniper, so even at level 1 it's stronger than all of these. Not really, not not compared to this. In the community patch, one thing that was changed is nobody really used Hyperion snipers because they were a little bit weak compared to other snipers, and then they have a low fire rate. Like if you have a low fire rate, you kind of want to have maybe the damage to deal. You know, you kind of want to deal damage to make up for it. And so instead of like increasing the fire rate and impeding on Vladov sniper rifles territory, or increasing the damage and getting on, you know, too much and getting into Jacob's territory or Dahl territory, because I think Dahls still do more damage than Hyperion, but Dahl has the burst fire. He just boosted Hyperion snipers a little bit. I actually, on my Hyperion 0 Allegiance run, I found the Hyperion snipers are pretty good now. Like with, you know, 0 usually likes your muckamucks. Either you want to take a low damage fast fire rate like a Vladov and just land 10 criticals in a row, or you just want to fire one powerful shot, you know, and spec into like one shot, one kill, and, you know, pop that out of deception, you know, reload your gun in deception and then pop that one shot out of deception and just get like a one really powerful shot and kill one enemy. And 0 can kind of like one shot badasses and stuff with like a muckamuck and stuff. But I found like the Hyperion to be pretty balanced now. So if I wouldn't have this Snyder, because the fire damage is just going to overcome any buff on any weapon right now. So I mean, I've got a pretty good version, you know, a pretty good, I mean, this is almost the same thing, except it's just Hyperion versus a muckamuck, and then Hyperion being buffed. I want to try this SMG out, see how much kick it's got. Usually when you get to really low level Hyperions, they got too much. Yeah, see, that's still terrible. It takes about 10 shots to get. This is awesome. I always like finding an anarchist, and they're pretty common. And I see a lot of noob, or I don't want to say noobs, but new players, people who've played other shooters and come to Borderlands for other games, and they're just, I see them open up like, usually it's over there in Flint's chest, or the chest over here, or I mean Boom and Boom's chest, or one of the chests over heading up the Flit. And usually you almost always have a green anarchist hanging on one of the walls or in a chest, and then they just, people see that low damage and they just go, you know, and then they stick with you know, like a Torg that does massive damage. And then Torg even has unlisted damage because it has splash damage on top, so it has 50% more than what's on the card anyway. They go for that damage.
Thanks, Hunter. You've helped a foolish old man look far more badass than he deserves.
So, I mean, I'm finding sniper rifles, but the one that Hammerlock gave me was more powerful than any of them that I got. Now, I can't use it yet, but, I mean, you know, people crying that mods are overpowered. You know.
I humbly suggest paying a visit to the old Crimson Raider safe house.
Let's see, here's some
need to take the
racks.
elevator up.
Could probably pull them over there and get my action skill. If you see, like the XP I'm getting from that, it's just costing me sniper rifle ammo. You can see that XP bar jumping pretty well. If you just kill the respawn, if you kill them right when you get in here, they'll respawn by the time you do a mission or two, and you can kill them again. Same with the bully mongs. You can get your You know, I've seen people do every mission in this area.
Greetings.
And,
Do you feel you have too many bullets?
You don't really have to do that to get your action skill unlocked. Just kill the respawns. I said, you notice when I jumped on top of Hammerlock's house, I killed the guys over here. I killed the guys over here with my sniper rifle because I know they're going to respawn. And if I can get them. Then the other thing, it also helps feed into your badass ranks because you get long shot. I think it's called long shot killer or whatever that just was. I just got for getting your sniper rifle kills and stuff. Normally you couldn't work on that because you couldn't get a sniper rifle in this area. Rack dropped the gun. Oh, I didn't sell my stuff. Nobody's coming to try to kick my teeth in. What's up with that? Oh, there he is. Oh, come on. Shoot my shots high. I've been playing with a lot of Jacob's weapons lately, and you know, your muckamucks, they have a lot of kick on them, and so I normally aim low. And then I'm kind of thinking to myself, oh, this is not
Of course, I forgot.
not a Jacob, so I got to aim a little higher, and I'm actually aiming too high.
Integrates with it.
Ah, what a kidder! Just get a new fuse for the elevator and ignore what he said about that power box.
I don't unlock my action skill if one of you guys die. I looked away. I lined up my shot and then I looked away at the screen and pulled the trigger and he wasn't there anymore. Okay, so we got our action skill, and I really wish you'd just start the game with your action skills. I don't really understand the whole. I think they kind of do that for new players or people who come from other shooters not used to an action skill. I don't know why they actually do that. I did like the fact that in the pre-sequel they basically moved it to level 3, but it still to me doesn't make sense. Like, why would Wilhelm be a mercenary, have Wolf and Saint, and then all of a sudden lose it for 3 levels, you know? And then just remember he had them, you know? I don't get the point of that. Just let us have our action skills. You know, if it messes up the balance for these really early levels, just balance the game better, you know? Make you need the action skills. I'm gonna run out of ammo if I keep. Like, I found this, you know, this is a good. A Snyder, or no, this is, I forget what do we call it again? Yeah, I found this Raquel. This is a pretty good sniper rifle.
Fantastic.
But I already feel its power disappearing, so I don't know what Gearbox was doing, other than they just basically, they just overbalance everything. I don't find that this is too powerful, and I'm already feeling that it's getting too weak. So why lock it out at the beginning of the game? And I hope Borderlands they learn for Borderlands 3. That Aegis that I found, these are probably stronger. Let's see, this is a level 0, so anything I get would be stronger than that. This 3 is probably better. I'm gonna keep. Since that, wow, a 182 shield, that's pretty good. Another thing I see a lot of beginners to the game do is with the shields, the same thing. They go, oh, this shield has more capacity, so it's better. This shield has more capacity, so it's better. Yeah, this one is a little bit better, but why I would say it's better than what I had, the capacity is a little higher because it's a better rarity. The 182 versus the 203 is probably negligible. If the capacities were a little bit closer, I'd rather have that recharge rate. So after 1.82 seconds, it's putting back into my shield. And if this was a 16, it would charge up in just a matter of, if my shield gets nicked, usually in the beginning of the game, the bandits, they usually got Tediador pistols, and they usually can't hit the broadside of a barn. If they do hit you, it's usually because of luck. And all it does is nick your shield, and like a 182 shield can charge right back up between them hitting you. And
got the elevator working, have you? Great. Now simply ascend
if
to the
you
safe
even
house
have like
and buy
150 capacity shield, but it takes 6 seconds to start charging, and then it has a 9 charge rate. 150 seconds at a 9 charge rate would take like 20 seconds to charge. That's not a good shield. I don't know why they lock out Tediador. They lock out all the brands this early, and so you're basically stuck with a Tediador. And see, there's an even better one. See, that 3.5 that doesn't really bother me. That I got 5 minutes to get. Oh, I got the money. You want that Muck-a-Muck. That Muck-a-Muck's probably going to be better. Boy, the reload speed on that Muck-a-Muck is terrible. We'll get rid of the gearbox gun. We do have that assault rifle, so we'll keep that. This bandit's probably better than that SMG. Matter of fact, we'll probably sell this SMG because it takes too long to center. We don't want this shield for sure.
Well done. Now, if you could return to Liarsburg, we could see about getting you off this frigid glacier.
So, I can see where people could say, oh, this is overpowered, but, this shield's actually got basically the same, a little less capacity, a more recharge rate, same delay. This one's, except for the coming back really quick, I would say this is a good balance of shield. That recharge rate to me is always the most important. So basically this is 100 and this is basically 20. So if this shield was completely down in 5 seconds, it would charge back up. If you run those numbers for this shield, it would be way better than what this shield is, because they both have charge rate. It would take almost an extra 2 seconds for this one to come back if they had the same delay. But since that lower capacity would have a quicker delay, it would actually be more characteristic of what's considered a Tediador shield. Low capacity, high recharge rate, quick delay. And I find as Tediadors get higher capacity, they get really crappy in the delay, the recharge rate, and the recharge delay department. Oh good, I didn't. Man, I was like, oh good, I didn't fall like I normally do. Then I go ahead and miss the jump. So I don't think they really adjusted the chest in any way, because you normally wouldn't get grenade mods. They didn't really adjust the rarities or anything. If I'm getting any blues right now, it's probably because of this. Oh yeah, the rare loot relic. It's normally 5%. He did adjust it to 7.5%, which the way that works, most people are like, oh yeah, 5% to find rare loot. Rare loot means blues. All it does is, instead of a green, let's say you had like a 0.5% for a blue to spawn in this area, which is probably close to being true. This relic was 5%. You're not getting like 5.5%. You're getting an extra 5% of the 0.5%. So you're getting like 0.5% would be 0.05 and then 5% of that would 0.25 or 0.0525%. So you're not really adding that much. Now, going all the way up to Flint and opening like 10 or 15 chests, yeah, you might get one blue. You might, you know, get a blue, and if you keep it all the way to Sanctuary, you might pick up another blue. I think when you go to get the power core, that the card trunk chest almost always has a blue in it, regardless whether you got the rare loot relic, and sometimes you actually pull a purple out of there. I think it's like a level 12 to 15 or something. But
protection from bullets, ho! Would you like to do battle with a midget riding piggyback on
that
a
loot
along?
relic,
Yes, please proceed to
since I don't have anything better, I'm gonna keep it, but it really doesn't do anything for you. Okay, I don't know. I don't like that reload, man. If I'm using that and I get in a bind, like I get downed, and I'm out of ammo, that would really hurt. But I'm running out of backpack space.
Farewell, friend.
That's another thing I think. Well, damn it. I just bought this level 2 and now there's a level 3 with an immunity on it. It's only 4 points higher, but I lose 2 points of delay. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna go ahead and let that pass. Then there's explosion proof one. That's another thing.
I can fix that.
Where's that? Right here. This, a lot of times I would like say, oh well, get, you know, blast proof to protect against barrels, protect against people throwing grenades at me and stuff like that, and especially against boom and boom. They're going to be using a lot of explosives. I would always like this shield, you know, an explosive proof shield, and then I'd always look for a flyer proof shield for Flint. And the fireproof shields do work. They kind of keep you from burning down a little bit. They take a little bit of that off. But the explosive ones, a lot of times I'd get them and I noticed they didn't really do that much. All that much. A barrel goes off, you still get down. And I was like, man, something's wrong here. And come to find out, and Shadowevil was looking through the code, the explosive capacitors that make them explosive resistant is bugged, and so all explosive proof shields basically didn't work. And he changed some stuff in the coding, and now they actually work. So, like, I have a Torg Axton that you know, I have to use Torg shields, but if I could find an explosive proof Torg shield and add elemental, you know, add a little bit of explosive resistance, that would really, wow, look at that.
I ain't a real doctor.
That's your typical Tediador shield, that it's really low capacity, really high recharge rate, and really low delay. So basically, if this thing goes down in 1.3 seconds, it's instantly back up. And then as you get into the blues, they start moving toward higher capacity and then lower bottom end stats. And then as the shield gets worse, they start losing capacity.
It's a fine day, full of opportunity.
I think only the purples really have those delays. But it's cool getting grenade mods in these vending machines out here because of restrictions. Oh, and also notice, like, let's see, I don't have, well, no, there's no rocket ammo. Okay, nah, that won't really show it. In the community patch, there's a module that makes it to where it's one click, one buy. So if you're completely out of assault rifle ammo, normally you'd have to click it like 4 or 5 times. And I see a lot of new beginners just clicking it once and then moving on, and then they're like out of ammo again. What it does is, I think what it does is it shows the price. Like if you was, let's see, let me shoot off a couple of rounds with a pistol.
No refund.
And see, it shows that I'm out of ammo. I need to buy 1 pack, and so it shows the price being $4. I think if you like 6 packs down, it would just multiply this times 6, so it would actually start showing, instead of showing, you know, you get 1 pack for this price, which is always the same. Well, I mean, it adjusts to your level. It shows the overall price of what the cost to fill you up is. And I think that's a cool little thing, because you can just get to the vending machine and, you know, click on every type of ammo and then get a move on. And it's kind of just a quality of life type thing. Now, I'm probably not going to be able to support this gun very long because I don't have any.
Silence!
A lot of practice with Maya. Oh, I thought that was a badass. I saw those bones and I'm like, oh man, I got a badass on a playthrough 1. Nice critical on that sucker, and then set him on fire. He might actually burn out. Yeah, he did.
Huh?